أرحب أجمل ترحيب بالامين العام للامم المتحدة السيد بان كيمون. هذه الزيارة زيارة هامة للأردن تأتي في إطار جولة له في المنطقة تشمل إلى جانب المملكة الأردنية الهاشمية الأراضي الفلسطينية، السلطة الوطنية الفلسطينية وإسرائيل. ولا يفوتني في هذه المناسبة أن أعبر عن شكري وتقديري لشخص الأمين العام للأمم المتحدة لجهوده الكبيرة التي يبذلها في مختلف المجالات وعلى كافة الصعد لدفع عملية السلام قدما، وهو داعم بشكل كبير لجهود جلالة الملك والأردن في هذا الإطار. هناك تنسيق وتشاور وثيق ومستمر بين الأردن والأمم المتحدة فيما يتعلق بعملية السلام. أنا أعتقد أنه زيارة الأمين العام في هذا الوقت بالذات من شأنها أن تشكل دعم وثقة للأمم المتحدة في هذا الإطار. كان هناك حديث بيني وبين السيد الأمين العام اليوم عن مختلف التطورات في المنطقة. كما تعلمون هناك كثير من التحديات التي تحدثنا عنها. تحدثنا عن دور الأردن في قوات حفظ السلام، وهو التزام أردني، ونحن فخورون بأن يكون الأردن من في طليعة الدول التي تساهم في عملية حفظ السلام في العالم، وقد تحدثنا في هذا أيضا. وتأتي هذه الزيارة في إطار التشاور المستمر بيننا وتقييم ما حدث لغاية الآن في المفاوضات الاستكشافية بين الفلسطينيين والإسرائيليين والمراحل القادمة. كان هناك تقدير من قبل السيد الأمين العام لهذا الدور الأردني وحديث حول الفرص في المستقبل. Let me just say that it is a sincere pleasure for me to welcome Secretary General Ban Ki-moon here to Jordan on his third visit. The last one was a few years ago, but I'm always happy to see the Secretary General here, and we're extremely happy that he's beginning his regional tour in Jordan. We just had extensive discussions, and the Secretary General will be received an audience by His Majesty in a few minutes. But I want to take this opportunity to salute the Secretary General as he begins his second term as Secretary General of the United Nations, for his leadership role in so many areas, for the excellent work and the commitment he has shown in so many areas around the world, in Haiti, in South Sudan, in Cote d'Ivoire, Libya, Lebanon, and the engagement and the involvement of the United Nations in so many areas of crisis. I think his commonly known generational themes will serve to take the United Nations to wider horizons and to everything that is good in the future. We discussed the peace process, the impasse that Jordan tried to break in the last few weeks by having these face-to-face discussions between the Palestinians and the Israelis, in order to lead to direct negotiations on all final status issues: Jerusalem, refugees, borders, security, and water. As I mentioned before, we are now in assessment mode. We are discussing with our partners, certainly with the Secretary General of the United Nations, and also within the Quartet members, and the Arab Peace Initiative Committee meeting that will take place in a couple of days' time, to see if enough progress has been achieved to carry us to the next phase. We discussed Syria and the latest troubling developments there. We discussed, of course, peacekeeping forces around the world and Jordan's firm commitment in this regard. And I thank the Secretary General for the warm and kind words that he mentioned regarding Jordan's role in peacekeeping. We are, I think, number 7 contributor in the world, and that makes us very, very proud. I discussed with the Secretary General other regional developments, and we also discussed the work of the United Nations here in Jordan. As you know, we have about 14 United Nations offices, and particularly the work of UNRWA, because Jordan is the largest host of Palestinian refugees, as you all know. At the end, I just want to say that it is always a pleasure to see the Secretary General. It is always extremely beneficial to exchange views from him. And I think our discussions today were not only extensive and comprehensive, but also overarching. And your support, Mr. Secretary General, at this crucial juncture, your presence in the Middle East at a time when we're trying to revive peace talks, Jordan being a stakeholder in this, and peace being a win for everyone, your presence here is all important. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Foreign Minister, for your very kind words of welcome and hospitality. And ladies and gentlemen of the media, assalamu alaikum. It's a great honor and pleasure for me to visit Jordan at this crucially important juncture of the Middle East peace process. As I have just begun my second term as a Secretary General, I thought that the most important way for me to contribute to the peace process of Middle East, and as the way to implement my one of my five priorities, which I have laid out this year, would be to contribute whatever I can to this Middle East peace process. It is also very important and meaningful for me to begin my visit to this region, starting from Jordan. I'd like to highly commend and appreciate the initiative and role of His Majesty King Abdullah and also Foreign Minister Jودة for facilitating these negotiations between Israeli and Palestinians, which started early this month. I hope there will be a momentum. This will create a momentum to sustain this dialogue process. Foreign Minister Jودة and I had an extensive discussions on the matters of our common concern, most importantly on how we can work together to help promote this Middle East peace process as was requested by the Quartet statement September last year. I'm also very much happy to visit in this region when there's a lot of changes are taking place in the Middle East and, of course, North Africa. I believe that first, the reform and transition to democracy should continue to take place. The Arab region has a generational opportunity to create the future it deserves. At this critical juncture, I'm committed to supporting Arab countries in transition and the people's struggle for democracy, justice, dignity, human rights, and economic opportunity. This also demands that we empower our women and young people. Dignity and justice in this region are threatened not only by authoritarian rule, but also by occupation and conflict. Tomorrow, I will meet the Israeli and Palestinian leaders. A two-state solution where Israel and Palestinians can live side by side in peace and security is long overdue. We must all do our part to break this impasse. In that regard, I really again highly appreciate the initiative of leadership of Jordanian government. I hope that the preparatory meetings which have taken place for 5 rounds of meetings here will continue and will ultimately lead to serious negotiations to reach an agreement for a two-state solution by the end of this year, as envisaged by Quartet. In the short term, it is essential that provocations stop, as called for by the Quartet, and that the parties build confidence and sustain these nascent talks. The Foreign Minister and I also discussed the crisis in Syria, which is having a growing impact on neighboring countries, including Jordan. I thank Jordan for hosting some 2,500 Syrians who fled the violence in their country. The UN Refugee Agency continues to work closely with the government to help those in need. The United Nations is committed to ensuring that Jordan is not left to carry the burden alone. I'm encouraged by the League of Arab States' initiative to seek a political solution to this crisis. It is more urgent than ever to put an end to this bloodshed and violence, to start a credible political solution that addresses the legitimate aspiration of the Syrian people and to protect their fundamental freedoms. In that regard, I hope that the Security Council meeting where the Secretary General of League of Arab States, El Arabi, and the Prime Minister of Qatar, in his capacity as chair of this League of Arab States, will bear good fruit, good results, so that they can meet the expectation of international community. I commend Jordan for its strong commitment to the values and goals of the United Nations. And Jordan is one of the top contributing countries to the United Nations peacekeeping operations. Jordanians are serving as a senior UN officials. We have Dr. Rima Khalaf, who is working as executive director of ESCWA, and the current prime minister. He was the judge of international ICJ, International Court of Justice. We need more and more such a contribution from Jordanian people, and we are ready to work together with the Jordanian government and people. When we work together for democracy, stability, peace, justice, development, and prosperity across the Middle East and all throughout the world. And I thank you very much. Shukran jazilan.